Hey there everybody, welcome back for another Sunday look at what's growing on here in our gardens and such. It's picking up again with the wind, of course, because I brought the camera out thinking it had died. Anyway, I will try and block the wind again this week, and yeah, let's take a look at what's going on before the sky unleashes whatever it's got in store for the day. Starting over here with our new little split log raised bed. I think I finally posted the video of that yesterday. But these 4 peppers seem to be doing alright, and it looks like the rhubarb is putting on some new growth for us there. So excellent. I was a little worried I'd killed it in that transplant, but rhubarb's pretty sturdy. Also looks like these Antohi, A-N-T-O-H-I, Antohi? I don't know. Peppers are getting to a point where I'm going to have to be tasting one of these. That's a neat little striped effect going on there. Kind of cool, kind of cool. Shox may or may not be joining me for that. She's busy with a lot of her own stuff right now. But we will see. I'll definitely ask her if she wants to give it a try. So, yes, this garden bed seems to be working out just fine so far. A little hard on the chainsaw, but it looks nice. Over here in the potato bed we can see, I guess these are the berries forming. That will eventually be my freak potato seeds. That's interesting. Don't know if they need to take color or anything, but looks like the green is starting to die off on this. I have no idea at what point I should be digging up the potatoes. So any advice y'all may or may not have there would be great. In the bed just beside that, we've got this one little tomato that I wasn't entirely sure it was an indigo rose, but we're starting to get a little bit more coloring and shadowing. Let's see if I can get a better shot on that. That stem is starting to take the purple that I generally expect with indigo rose tomato, so we'll find out for sure when some of those flowers open and start to produce fruit, but I think there's actually an airplane overhead. How strange. It's like the good old days. We got one of the sorcerer pumpkins over here. This is the smaller of the two, but I see at least one pumpkin start on there. Hopefully that'll take. Nice that it's kind of greening up a little bit. I need to point these 2 vines more into the yard area. That beside it there though is the lemon boy tomato. Lots of flowers on it so far. Seems a pretty happy, healthy plant. Not seeing any fruit on that one yet, but that one over there behind the other pumpkin, I got fruit on that. This is the Manitoba variety tomato, and yeah, got a few little fruit forming on there. It's quite packed into this tomato cage. I think a larger one would definitely have been a good idea, or just letting it go free range perhaps. Should probably do some trimming in that, might do it in the coming weeks. We shall see. Airflow never hurts. So yeah, but it's nice to see some fruit forming on that, and it looks like it might just end up being a pretty decent sized tomato, so fried green tomatoes. Y'all know how I love those. And in the garden bed beside that, we've got the early sweet cantaloupe. Plant is looking stronger every few days, but still don't see any cantaloupe on there. We got the Sugar Rush cream pepper here beside it. A few little flower balls starting on there, but I don't see any fruit yet. Kind of the same situation with the ones out front. The billy goat beside it here. We've got a few peppers forming in there. Be interesting. Quite curious to try one of them. And then from the seed tape, parsnip, turnip. Never could tell the two apart, but it looks like it's getting some decent root growth going there. That's exciting. And then of course the little mess of watermelons behind it. Interesting leaf shape. I thought that was a sign of some deficiency, but they all seem to be growing that way now, so I don't know. I have no idea what to expect from watermelons. I'm just hopeful that I'll get one, or better yet, several. Those of you who caught yesterday's clip got to see all the peas I harvested from this. That was quite a tasty dinner indeed. Definitely looking forward to doing the same with the beans beside it here. And I was looking and I found a few bean starts in here. There's a little tiny one there. That'll get much bigger before it's done, but sure is a cute little thing right now. Moving beside it here, we've got the sage. This is getting absolutely beautiful. I thought I was going to have enough room there, but the beans are kind of crowding it out a little bit, so we're just going to have to see. Beans are kind of a short season crop though, I think, so I don't think they'll be there all summer long. Eventually that sage will get a little more sun. And the little pepper patch here, still not much going on with them. Not a whole lot of new growth on this Chinese 5-color since I brought it out. But it's only the middle of July. Season is still fairly young. That's what I tell myself to fall asleep at night anyway. Moving back. Another pepper patch going on here. Things are definitely starting to look like my garden, because wouldn't you know it, I have unplanned tomatoes in my pepper patch. And they look like they're pretty happy about being alive. So, I'm going to have some transplanting to do. But that's fine. If they want to grow, then hopefully they'll even produce for me. Thinking it was the broad ripple tomatoes that were kind of over here and dropping them, so might be those delicious little yellow currant tomatoes. That garden salsa pepper is coming along nicely back there. Got some new growth on the bottom of it. Another little pepper start up on the top there. Jay's Peach Ghost Scorpion beside it. And that El Oro de Ecuador, nice tall looking plant there. Glad I planted it along the back. A couple of dandelions at the base there I need to pull, but for the most part, things are looking pretty good. The eggplants are all kind of suffering, but that's one of the nicer ones. This Carolina Reaper up here, I don't know. Just don't know if I'm going to get any peppers out of that. I am hopeful though. Let's check out the bunker garden back here behind it. The one thing I have had issues with this bunker garden over the years is trying to keep enough moisture in it. Gonna need to water this for sure. The corn seems to be doing alright. This little high noon. I love that siren. This little butternut squash here, looking a little sad at the moment, but it'll perk right back up after I water it. And got a nice bright flower in there, so here's to hoping for some butternut squash this year. Speaking of squash, that brings us to the acorn squash over here. Also looking a little wilty and in need of watering. Still haven't mulched here, still haven't weeded, and you can definitely see how happy the weeds are to grow if they're not covered up. It's the pumpkins. I am so hopeful for these. Those were such delicious little pumpkins. Good pies, good loaves. Yum, 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 yum. And then over here in the last part of the spruce garden area, we've got this poor little rosemary I transplanted out here, and I just don't know if it's going to make it or not. This does not seem to be a very productive section of the garden for anything but weeds. So I don't know if it needs maybe some soil amendments, or if I just need to stop planting things here. We shall see. Here's that spaghetti squash start that I picked up. So glad that I did so, because yeah, still not a single seed sprouting from all of those ones that I planted from the frozen spaghetti squash. So I'm going to officially say that idea does not work. Haven't got any fruit forming on here that have actually stayed so far. But we've got time. These things mature fairly quickly once they're on there. And there are a few starts on here, so hopefully one of these ones will keep. Pulled that zucchini off of this plant yesterday. Looking forward to, I'm thinking about zucchini loaf waffles, because why not? These cabbages are looking a little on the wilty side, but they too just waiting for their watering. And in amongst them in the back here, we've got another of the Chinese 5-color peppers. Starting to put on a few more of those colors. Dave, if you're watching this one, let me know what color I'm looking for as ripe on this. Is that red what I'm going for, or is there another stage after that? So, got two of them at about the same point though, so that's a good opportunity. Again, if Shocks would care to join me in tasting. These habaneros down here, getting some flower starts on them. Nice little clusters, so I'm hoping they'll produce. Said it before, I'll say it again, can't ever have too many habaneros. Was making a maple and habanero candy that seemed really popular with the folks in town, so yeah, definitely want to have more of them. And over here in our largest patch, I guess this is the first one we dug up. Actually made the bunker garden from this. Most things are coming along fairly well, even though the fox was wandering through here having dinner and such. One thing I did notice that I thought was a little, I don't know, odd, unfortunate, pick your term, that something was munching away on the bottom of this poor pepper plant and basically ate all the way through it, and yet it still seems to have enough life going into it that lying on its side it's still growing. So this was just the Indian jolokia pepper. I don't know if we're going to get to find out what this is like or not. Might have to try again next year with these, but I think I've still got some seeds, so it's not a terrible situation. Just a bit of a setback. This is probably where I'm going to end up, just cleaning up a patch and putting those volunteer tomatoes. Shouldn't block the sun too bad from anything in the back of this patch. And I still need to clean it out, so I guess it was just waiting for them. Yeah, quite a few peppers coming along in here though. Some of these store-boughts are doing alright. This Hungarian yellow wax pepper. Again, looking like another one that's going to need a taste testing soon. Very exciting, very exciting. And that pretty much wraps it up for the side and back gardens. Go take a quick look at the peppers out front, and I guess that's a wrap. So here's one of the container peppers out front. Brought this one up from the dungeon. Clearly it has adjusted just fine to being out in good natural sunlight. Tons of flower starts on this. This is a bhut jolokia yellow, so I guess that's a yellow ghost, and if I even get half of these as mature peppers, I am in for some very hot sauces and powders this year. Oh, that is like terribly exciting. Nepalese bell beside it. Not doing great, but not dying off. Little weary pepper over here. Seems to be adjusting to the front yard just fine. This whole little row seems to be doing okay. They're all in different types of containers, but they're all putting on the flowers for me. This one here I believe is a billy goat pepper. Need to do a little weeding in there. Unexpected in a container garden. Very exciting, very promising. And all of these ones here have draining bottoms, so I'm hoping to just kind of prune them back at the end of the season, take them downstairs and grow them up so that next year I can bring out something that looks like the sand dollar, which we'll do an update on all by itself because it deserves the attention. Let's look at these peppers here and call it a day, shall we? This is the yellow scorpion pepper. It's got something on it there. It's not quite what I'm used to seeing in the pepper lovers community, but I'll take it. And it's the first one, so, you know, who knows. Seem to be a fair number of flowers on this as well, though. So the yellow scorpion and the yellow ghost are both looking like they're going to be very productive for me. Got a red ghost scorpion cross over here. It seems to be adapting to the sunlight, but not necessarily growing terribly strong. And we got the primo pepper over there. Was looking into the numbers for this particular pepper. It says it scores between 1.5 million and 2.2 million Scoville units. So the flowers on this one kind of worry me, because you know I'm going to have to taste it if it does anything for me. Then back here we've got things on the lighter side. We've got the Sugar Rush Red here. Seems to be coming along fairly well. Another Sugar Rush Cream in the middle here. And the Sugar Rush Peach right on the outside. All doing very well. So far this location seems to be the sweet spot in our yard for growing peppers. So I may just end up doing something more official with that, but at the same time I kind of like a sun porch. Or better yet, a sun room. Trap a little free heat in the wintertime. Alright, starting to get a few raindrops coming down on me here, so I guess that definitely wraps up today's video. Thank you all for sticking around and being part of the adventure in these gardens, and yeah, there's a whole lot more videos coming out in the next few days, so surf those channels, find them. I'm coming along in this 30-30 challenge. I missed a couple of days, but I will be doubling up on multiple channels, so it'll work. I can do this. I think. Maybe. Yeah. Stick around, it's the only way to find out. Alright, see you later.